Join New Schools for New Orleans, All-State Sugar Bowl, and Entergy New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our third annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards, NOETA Gala. The gala will take place Saturday, November 2nd at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This year's gala will feature Grammy-nominated Tank and the Bangers. Don't miss out on this intimate celebration supporting our New Orleans public school teachers. Tickets can be purchased on our website, newschoolsforneworleans.org.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning. Wake up, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. I am Dr. Ashanta White, OT Drive Safely. We want you here in one piece. Listen, welcome to the Good Morning Show. It's going to be a dynamic lineup this morning at the 7:20 hour. We are going to have our Black Media segment. Then we're going to talk to Percy Marchand, the management consultant, grant writer, and program developer at the 8 o'clock hour. He's going to talk all things Boo That 504. The Halloween extravaganza to help bring awareness to domestic violence, talking about partying with the purpose. But good morning and welcome to the Good Morning Show. I want to start this show off by telling you guys that it is early voting time. Early voting has started. It's going to run until October 29th. I want to make certain that you know the early voting locations in both Jefferson and Orleans Parish. So in Jefferson Parish, we have early voting at the Joseph Yenny Parish Building, 1221 Elmwood Park Boulevard, room 504. The Charles Odom Building, 5001 West Bank Expressway, Suite C2 in Marrero, Louisiana. 408 Minor Street in Kenner, Louisiana. The Grand Isle Multiplex at 3101 Highway 1, Grand Isle, Louisiana. The West Bank Regional Library, where I'm going to go to vote, 2751 Manhattan Boulevard, Harvey, Louisiana. The East Bank Regional Library, 4747 West Napoleon Ave, Metairie, Louisiana. And at the Marrero Community Center, 1861 Ames Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Those are the early voting locations for Jefferson Parish. In New Orleans Parish, you can vote at City Hall, 1300 Perdido Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. At the Algiers Courthouse, 225 Morgan Street, room 105, New Orleans, Louisiana. At the Voting Machine Warehouse, 8870 Chef Mentor Highway. You could also vote at Lake Vista Community Center, 6500 Spanish Fort Boulevard, second floor, meeting room. And lastly, you can vote at the Treme Community Center, 900 North Village Street in New Orleans, Louisiana. If I miss any of the early voting locations and you know of one, you could always call. It's 504-582-9422. I'm sure there may be more, but those are the ones that I see listed here. Listen, y'all, we are about 2 weeks out from Election Day, November 5th, but we're asking you here at WBOK to get in and vote early. Early voting will end October 29th. You can vote from now into the 29th, excluding those Sundays. We are 2 weeks out. Here is the other thing I wanted to talk about voting. I've been watching all of the national media around this conversation that Barack Obama has been trying to have with a specific subset of Black men and their hesitance or their downright refusal to consider Vice President Harris as a viable presidential candidate. I was watching Donald Trump's, I don't know if that was a rally or what it was, but I saw some clips, and in it I saw Pittsburgh Steelers, former Pittsburgh Steelers players, Le'Veon Bell, Mike Wallace, and Antonio Brown get on the stage. All three black men who are, by any stretch of the imagination, they have some form of wealth or riches, and they've been able to make a living for themselves through the game of football. Le'Veon Bell actually, I believe, spoke on the stage, as did Antonio Brown, but also Lord Jamar. He's a hip hop artist, former hip hop artist. He wore a shirt that said Trump or Tramp as a black man. And several people have in the media have tried to chastise him for that, and he since apologized for being derogatory towards her. But in all of the conversations around it, I've not heard one valid reason why they feel the way that they do about her in terms of her candidacy for the presidency of the United States. I hear a lot of people talk about her role as a prosecutor. I too have some questions about her role as a prosecutor, but I do know that was her job at the time, to prosecute. Now, did she overly prosecute black men? There could be an argument made for that. But what gives me great pause is hearing the things that they're saying about a woman that doesn't have one felony conviction. And to call her a tramp, I don't know if she's a part of their body count. I don't even understand what's the definition of tramp to label her that. I'm just quite baffled. And I think when I think back to the commentary by former President Barack Obama, those are the, I guess, prototypes for the type of black man he was attempting to speak to. Those of who come from our community who are on the fence, maybe about voting for her. Those who are in our communities who have a hard time with women leading, specifically black women leading. I don't know if that's the entire part of it, but it just seems like it's deeper than that. Maybe some of them have mommy issues or something, but I don't know. Let's ask OT. Good morning, OT. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm fine. First of all, good morning, Dr. White.
Good
Caught in
morning.
traffic, but this is an important topic that, as a matter of fact, we're going to have some panel discussions with men at the Hangout, and I'm going to be part of an interview series talking about this topic, especially since it's a hot topic since former President Barack Obama's comments about black men, and then Wendell Pierce and many others taking him to task for taking us to task. Let me say this. Too often they paint the African American community with one broad brush. If they got some folk out there who feel a certain ways, don't blame those of us who don't.
Right.
No one's talking about the majority of women, white women who are voting for Trump, even though he's disrespectful to women. No one's talking about why are so many white men voting for him, as narcissistic as he is, given his challenges and how disrespectful he can be. So yes, we're not monolithic, and I would hope that it's like, well, hold on a second, don't hold me accountable for what some other fool is doing or what some other person is doing. Now, should we get into the reasons why, some of the frustration, voter frustration? Black men are no different than anyone else. We want to know that we fit. We want to know that you have programs that benefit us. But let me say this in defense of black men. No other group has been more disparaged. You and I talked about the CNBC report done in February that says black men and boys are being left out of the nation's economy. Now, so let's talk about those issues. How do we consolidate, right, especially in our best interests? And people like Antonio Brown and those folks, man, they don't represent us. They represent themselves. It's just like when Dennis, they put a mic in front of Dennis Rodman when he went to South Korea to talk about world affairs. He ain't qualified. So they're not qualified to represent those of us who respect black women, who are supporting this black woman, and understand civic and social and political engagement. So no, it should be a conversation about it, and we should talk about the frustrations and some of the root causes and reasons. But please, don't talk about all black men when you got a few percentage, because 90% of black men are going to vote for Kamala Harris.
Absolutely. I totally agree. That is why I tried to like make the parallel between what we're hearing certain black men say and
Right.
former President Obama's appeal to that specific group of black men,
Mm-hmm.
trying to engage them into understanding, why do you feel this way? Is this because you just cannot fathom a woman leading the country, or is it because
Yeah.
she's a black woman, or is it because she's a woman, period? Like, is there some misogyny
Yeah.
there that you just can't shake in terms of understanding that she's just better at this moment in
Mm-hmm.
turn in this race? And so I it was just very jarring for me to watch three black men take the stage and talk so
Yeah.
disparagingly against her without any real like issues to back up what they're saying it for. I just want to know what is it for?
Well, ignorance and lack of knowledge and understanding it is an exclusive. You know,
Yeah.
so just because those people are famous athletes or famous entertainers, it doesn't mean they're spared from the ignorance gene or the ignorance disease. Or in many cases, the best person to convince to get on your side is someone who you can buy,
Yeah.
someone who feels like, it happens politically all the time. Say, well, how can these black people be here? Well, okay, well, because it's to their economic advantage. They're not going to say that, but that's what it is. Or some people just don't know. But uh, you know, look, gender discrimination and discrimination is real also, and misogynistic values and ideals, I mean, are rooted in this country. So it could be some of that, but don't say one size fits all. And I think Wendell Pierce's response, and he's a very good friend of President Barack Obama. He's also one of the owners of WBOK and Equity Media. He was careful, and he said, "Hey, hold on, Mr. President, we respect you, but chastise the ones who don't know any better.
Yeah.
Don't chastise all of us, because we want love and care and understanding and patience. Because too often folk are quick to castrate, chastise, admonish, and exile us, and we don't need that, because of what a few fools or a few people who don't understand the issues are doing."
And the thing is, OT, when they interviewed Larger Moore on a national platform and they were questioning him about his why, he said that he didn't like how she was pandering to them. And I almost was like, did you not see that man go into a closed McDonald's to pretend to serve pretend customers, to go up against the rhetoric that Vice President Harris formerly worked at a McDonald's? Like, these are the things he's doing. And then you have Elon Musk over here giving away $1 million a day to random folk who say they're going to vote for him and sign this
Correct.
petition for the right to bear arms, right? It's just so insane, the things that she's up against, but they're focused staunchly on her, and they don't really have any real teeth to the reasons. And that's what he said. He said he didn't like that she was pandering to them.
And that's why I love what we do. And so I'm sorry for being stuck in traffic, but I think this topic is. Thank you for broaching this topic. It is a prominent topic now. I love what we do, and where we don't talk about the surfaces of these issues, we try to get into the understanding. I'll never forget the debate between Ta-Nehisi Coates and former Mayor Mitch Landrieu, right? And Ta-Nehisi Coates was talking about discrimination and our people being knocked down and many of the obstacles. And so Mitch Landrieu made a comment. I guess he thought it was a comeback. And he said, if you're sitting on this stool and I knock you off this stool and you don't get up, Mr. Coates, then that ain't my fault. That's your fault for not getting up.
Oh.
And Ta-Nehisi Coates said, yeah, but what about if you got your foot on top of me? Huh? what about when you stopping me from getting up?
Or what about if I get up and knock you out, and then you can't get up off the floor?
Well, but think about it, right? So it's always a deeper discussion than just what happens on the surface, and especially when it comes to disparaged communities, our community, and black women and men. And what I don't want to see is, especially in this call for unity, I don't want to see us allowing outside forces to
Oh,
drive a wedge.
absolutely. Yeah, I
to-
agree.
To drive any wedges between us.
We know that's
So,
a very
look,
small.
I just pulled up. I'm about to come in the studio, but I wanted to weigh in because thank you for broaching this topic. I see you when I get in the studio.
Okay, I appreciate you, OT.
All right.
Good morning, Miss Jones. How are you? Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Oh, good morning to you and good morning to OT and all the listening audience. People are insane because even if you don't like Kamala, what other choice do you have? That small segment of black men may be bitter, or she was a prosecutor, but Trump did worse. Trump is running for Putin. Hear me out. Nobody want to hear the history of going back in the days with 50s when Eisenhower was president, and we had another leader for Russia, and he said, America, you will destroy within. I won't have to fire one shot.
Right.
And this was said. Somebody else prominently remembered it, too. And what more do you need to show you? The man is really insane. He's not even capable of being any kind of leader, any kind of way.
Right.
And those judges who allow themselves to be put, I can't call them honorable judges. That's a dishonor for those three judges to want to get into a position to help destroy. That's what it's all about.
The world is made up of all kinds.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah.
And they just have to wake up. Years ago, I read in Ebony, one of the magazines, a black man had defected to Russia after the war, 10 years, and he said, no place you would want to live.
Well, Ms. Jones, I know, I have friends that are African American Republicans, right? And we have careful discussions. We're respectful. I know they love me. I love them. Some of them I played ball with in college, grew up with. Many I've developed professional relationships. Many of them have solid arguments as to why they're Republican, why they would support an issue, and they stand by the part that they care about.
Right.
I respect people like that. They're not trying to make it seem like the people they support like them, love them.
Yeah.
But there's a
They
part
just align on that thing. Yeah.
Say that again.
They align on that thing.
They
Yeah.
align on that thing because
Right.
in their usually their best economic,
Yep.
social, or professional interests. So I understand that. But what I don't understand is when people will take an issue in our community and say, all of them. That's
Yeah.
how they feel. That's unacceptable, and we can't allow ourselves to fall into those traps again.
No, all I can say is people to vote. And like I think as Robinson, he said, this wicked system of electoral votes, that need to change.
Yes.
That need to change. I never thought it was right. Even in history and civics in high school, way back in the 60s, we were taught differently. We were taught the truth. I remember a ninth grade teacher. She said, I don't know. She said, sometimes maybe they may go favorably of the popularity vote. But something just isn't right. It was put by design to be able to do what they want, whatever the occasion, whatever the situation is, to favor them.
I'll never forget. I think some of the best advice I got on being black was one night having dinner with Minister Farrakhan. And we were talking about religion. Some of us talking about, well, we're not Muslim, some of us not different faiths, right? Mm-hmm. And he told me, he said, man, I would be a fool to want everybody to be me or like me.
Right.
He said, just whatever sector you're in, be the best black man or woman you can be and have a relationship with how it is what you do helps your people.
That's that last part. Heavy on that last part.
Helps your people.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Well, we have to go to break,
What
and we
need to
appreciate.
do, too, one more thing. Don't stop the music all over. Every day you have thousands of youngsters turning 17 that are eligible to register to vote. Don't wait until a crisis comes up, because this is a crisis.
Great point.
Just let it be ongoing. Talk about it. Faithful as much as you like to party.
Second that motion.
Always. And a birthday card, give them a voter's registration application.
Second that motion. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Wise
Jones.
word.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. Wise word.
Listen, we have to go to break,
Yeah.
but please stay with us. We have more of this conversation. We're going to continue to talk all things what's on your ballot right here on WBOK 1230 AM.
Oh, the station who? Everybody talking about
All day long.
Well, y'all better
Yeah.
y'all watch that traffic out there, guys. All right, backed up.
Start your day off right.
Just getting your day started.
Early morning gospel on WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at what's making headlines today. Happening today, the man accused of a deadly shooting last week in New Orleans will be back in court. The NOPD says Eric Gentry shot and killed 25-year-old Caitlin Howard at an apartment off Morrison Road. WDSU obtained court records which showed Gentry was previously arrested for a home invasion at the victim's home. He is now being held in the Orleans Parish Jail on a $20 million bond. And in St. Bernard Parish, the sheriff's office is looking for a suspect on the run following a shooting in Chalmette on Saturday. 26-year-old Jesse Mondi is wanted for attempted murder and child endangerment. Deputies say the shooting centered around a car with a 1-year-old baby inside. 3 other suspects have been arrested, 2 of them minors. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Then Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour takes over New Orleans in just a few days. And in anticipation, the city is hosting a Super Second Harvest food drive. Organizers say the event is inspired by the pop star's many charitable efforts. So to take part, it is simple. Just make a donation today to Second Harvest Food Bank. And finally, early voting continues in Louisiana now through October 29th. The polls are open daily from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. And remember, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. That's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU. Have a great day.
Hi, this is Troy Henry, one of the owners of Equity Media WBOK, and I would like to encourage each and every one of you to make sure that you get out and vote in this next election. You know, every election is important, but this one has so many consequences associated with it. I believe that, we've all fought hard for the right to vote, and we want our perspective to really be represented in this election. And so regardless of what candidate you're going for, it's important that you show your preference. But not only that, also make sure that your family members do the same, and friends, just to encourage them that, many people fought very hard for us to have the opportunity to vote. And there are a lot of other countries in the world today that don't have that opportunity. I've had the pleasure of going to some of them that they don't get to vote at all. They don't have a say in the governing of their life. And so for us, it's just vital and important that we exercise this privilege that we have of this experiment called democracy. So my message to you is, on behalf of Equity Media and my company, Henry Consulting, I would encourage you, strongly encourage you to get out and vote. Thank you and God bless.
For everything you need to know, go to GoVote.com. That's GEAUX Vote.com.
NOLA Public Schools is excited to be on this 2024-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Dr. Donaldo Batiste stands with our families, fighting for better schools, charter and traditional.
It's simple. Strong traditional public schools are necessary, as are strong and thriving charters. Our kids deserve options that work for them.
His opponent? She's taken thousands from national charter school donors. They want charters to dominate New Orleans, but Dr. Batiste believes in balance and local control.
No dark money, just a focus on what's best for all students.
Vote for integrity. Vote for Dr. Donaldo Batiste.
This message is approved by and paid for by Friends to Elect Dr. Donaldo R. Batiste.
New Orleans Burlesque is back.
The Red Light District, located on the second floor of your New Orleans headquarters by Nice Guys, presents a captivating, international, award-winning burlesque experience that will leave you breathless. Indulge in the sounds of our Grammy Award-winning quartet and exceptional food pairings each and every Saturday. To purchase tickets, visit Eventbrite.com, and remember, what happens in the Red Light District stays in the Red Light District.
Greetings, WBOK family. This is Jason Clark, host of United Way and You. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at 12 p.m. when we'll be speaking with Melanie Richardson, co-founder and executive director of Training Grounds, a United Way funded partner. The topic will be the We Play, We Connect Family Resource Hub. Please tune in if you're able. Until then, we only have one life to live, so live united.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Welcome to Liberty Bank and Trust, where your financial journey transforms communities. Since 1972, our customized banking solutions power your dreams and fuel your community growth. Every dollar you invest with us circles back to empower more people, ensuring opportunities for generations. Join us at Liberty Bank. Together, we empower possibility. Visit libertybank.net to start banking with purpose. Liberty Bank, there's freedom here.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Listen, we was having a wonderful conversation about just black men and their adverse feelings and thoughts and opinions about the vice presidential candidate that's Kamala Harris. And I think it's just, to me, a deeper conversation.
It really is. And thank you for starting and broaching that. And look, 504-582-9422. Man, y'all know we've been talking about this, right? I called in while I was in traffic because it's hot on the press. I called and I've talked to my friends about understanding former President Barack Obama's comments. Was he chastising us? Was he imploring us? Was he encouraging us?
Or was it like a little bit of tough love too?
Or was it like a little bit of tough love? And we've talked about it. So these are conversations that need to be had. But my point is, don't continue to disparage me or stereotype me on what Dennis Rodman does.
Yeah.
Or what Antonio Brown does.
And see, I think that's the trick of the opposition, to turn his commentary into this attack on black men and their inability to support her. It's not, that is a very small group of men, in my opinion, that he was talking to.
It's a very small
And
group.
I feel like the small subset of men knew who he was talking to. They knew that conversation was for them.
Right.
Because again, if you can articulate what is your rationale for why he would be a better president than she, then I would like to hear it. But when you say things like, I don't like when she panders to me, we were just talking off air. Well, what was the former president doing when he gave y'all them gold tennis shoes? He said it's what black people care about.
Oh, yeah, well, what was he doing when he said, I like the blacks?
The blacks. But then he comes out in the presidential debate and falsely says that the Central Park Five pleaded guilty.
Right.
And said somebody was killed. As long as I've been knowing that story, I didn't know anybody died in any of the Central Park situations. And so you just get on a stage and just say anything.
But what is why this is important for us to have. It's important as a national discussion. And the one thing I love now is that black men are talking to each other. From Black Men Build to Fathers Matter, to many of the groups that we have here. At the Hangout, we're going to have a panel discussion with black men. I think it's next week, this weekend. So at least now we're saying, hey, hold on a second, right?
Yeah.
And because I called a very good friend of mine after President Barack Obama's comments. Wendell Pierce and I talked about it because, he went on national news
and had a response.
And had a response. And then I called a friend of mine who's a psychologist, behavior specialist. And I understood it better.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was under attack. And I'm like, hold on a second, but that ain't me.
Right.
You know, but then, well, hold on a second, right? Why was that my first response?
Right.
And so, absolutely.
Conversations happening here on WBOK. We have a caller on line 1. Good morning, Uptown B.
Good
Welcome
morning,
to the
B, man.
Show.
Bless you, man.
Good morning, y'all. Good topic this morning.
Thank you.
What I think is what's happening with a lot of young males, it's not necessarily a vote for Trump himself, the man. I think a lot of sisters don't see that, or they can't really comprehend that, as far as they can't make the connections because he's the antithesis of anything they want to be around, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think the vote is for necessarily, it's against the system. It's not a vote for him that a lot of them are seeking, because I'm fascinated by it too, you know, in the barbershops and talking to different brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And their vote is not necessary. Then the conversation changes to, well, does he not like black women? And that is not the conversation. It's a vote against a system that they woefully disagree with. They're getting the highest incarceration rates. They're getting the highest, sentencing, disparaging sentences, no joblessness. I mean, the list goes on and on as far as like in American society.
But B, think about it. And first of all, thank you as always, brother. You're always provocative.
To say the same thing, I guarantee.
But so why is the object of my frustration the wrong person? So when you think about it, right? So
because surely Donald Trump represents that system, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we're
he's a beneficiary of the system.
So if we're pushing back against a system,
right?
Then why
you picked the wrong person to be mad at.
Conversation centered on her. She hasn't been in the White House as the president of the United States just yet.
This is still Joe Biden's
presidency.
Was a prosecutor. You said it yourself. She was a prosecutor. And
absolutely.
I'm not agreeing with it. What I'm telling you is you can't see it from your perspective. You have to understand that people who are on the ground level do not see it that way,
gotcha.
And they want, and I do not.
And that's why we're having this discussion.
No, that exactly. B, we're not. Yeah. I'm not. And you know what else? I always push up against when people say you got to say. If that is not my lens, that's why we have the conversation. That's why we were talking about perspective.
Right.
That's why we have robust conversations. We're not being dismissive of anybody's thoughts. That's why I keep asking, what is your why to this? It can't simply be because you think she's placating to you or she's pandering to you, because the opposition has done that. So let's eliminate that. Then what is it really about? And if it's a push against the system, then both of them represent
the other narrative also is not it either.
Mm-hmm.
Because these men love their women, they love their wives, they love their sisters. And that's just not, and that narrative has been pushed more forward. One other thing in addition, there's a good documentary on Netflix I watched last night. It's called Join or Die. It's about our social. It's really, really good, y'all. Y'all should check it out.
Mm-hmm.
A Harvard professor studied, it's called, he wrote a book called Bowling Alone. And it's really good, and it explores the social breakdown in our communities that directly reflect our voting patterns. So there's that. Thank y'all.
Thank you, B. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Absolutely.
Listen, we have another caller. The lines are lit, y'all. If you want to call and be a part of this conversation, the number here is 504-582-9422. Good morning, Larry. How are you? Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning,
hey,
up and nine.
How you doing, my brother?
We're doing good, Papa.
And how the sister doing?
How are you? I'm great.
We're good.
Hey, a guy that OT maybe could understand this to a degree. I have a friend of mine that was incarcerated, and he used to play chess a lot. And they had, while he was incarcerated, a thing called a left-hand fake. So if you playing chess against another guy, you raise your left hand like you're waving at somebody, and when he turns his back, you make a chess move. And I think that's what they're doing to us. I really do, OT. Because the real problem is not black men. 53% of women voted for Trump last election.
Bingo.
53%, sweetheart, not men. Black men were single.
Is Mr. Larry talking to me? Did I say something to upset him? I'm on your side here. What is happening here?
I'm not saying it directly to you. I'm saying it to all women. 53% of your gender voted for Trump, not black men. We had single digits. I think it was 9%.
Well, I guarantee you that 53% of my gender didn't look like me. I could
no,
almost
that's what he
guarantee
said.
you that.
It didn't look like you.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But y'all share the same gender, sweetheart.
Don't have nothing to do with me, Larry.
504-582-9422.
Hey, sweetheart, I'm not gonna blame that.
Hey, Larry.
No, I'm not gonna blame that on you. Look, 90% of black men voted against Trump.
Correct.
So when I was in school, it changed so 90% is an A.
That's a winning score. I was just getting ready to say
that. It's a winning score.
Right.
Now, I don't think it changed that much. Somebody came out with statistics last week, say 25% of the Latino men vote for Trump.
Absolutely. And growing.
So we got to be careful of that left-hand faith.
Right.
Because I really think black men going to come out in droves and vote for that system.
But I think that's the importance of the discussion, and that's why we're having it to actually get to where you are. That's absolutely great. Hey, Larry, thank you, man. We love you, brother. We really do.
Listen, the phone lines are lit.
Yeah.
DJ is on line 1.
DJ.
Good morning, DJ.
DJ, good morning.
Good
Blessings,
morning,
brother.
y'all. Good morning, OT. Good morning, Dr. Wyatt.
Talk to us, DJ.
Here's the thing. It's like, first of all, y'all know that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? We can all at least agree on that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so the thing is that, Kamala's, yes, she has some color to her.
Kamala.
But the thing is this it's like they're trying to put it off as if, like the brother was saying before, we don't, if you don't vote for her, you don't like black women. That's the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard of. Now, if Stacey Abrams would have been running, I would have been all out here gun ho. Because I love me some Stacey Abrams, and that's a real true sister right there.
I do too.
But the thing is that we also want to talk about, was she black? You can't believe you're not voting for her. Was black going to the polls for Ben Carson? No, he was black, but why not? But he's black, right? So if you want to use that same argument, why not vote for him?
Well, I think there's some answers to that.
I don't see any black folks coming to the defense of the justice, Clarence Thomas.
But DJ, I think that's what Dr. Wyatt. That's what Dr. Wyatt and I were saying. Is look, is especially those people, right? And we can have differences of support, agreement, ideology, and respect. But say what it is, right? Not some of these fools like Dennis Rodman and Antonio Brown and this rapper. Hold on a second, man. Now, if you have a professional and intellectual, ideological decision,
or just somebody that can explain why.
Because
you ain't got to just explain to me.
Right.
What are you standing on? And to DJ's point, if you asked me why we weren't stumping for Ben Carson or Clarence Thomas, people can tell you.
I can tell you.
So that's our issue here. Give me the why. I can tell you why.
But
for me, when I hear them say things that also could also fit the shoe of the other person, then you're asking why. I'm sorry, DJ. What did you say?
DJ?
No problem. Think of it as a stock market, right? So we had black people have been investing in the Democratic Party for a very, very long time without an ROI, without a return on our investment. And black men is like, wait, hold on. Black men are starting to wake up. It's like, wait, we're really starting to understand this whole.
That's an important discussion.
I get what's going on.
I get that.
Right.
I absolutely get that.
Right.
And we're kind of taking a step back, like, wait, hold up. Like, shouldn't we be getting something out of this? And we're not. And so the thing is, it just happened to happen on her term where she's running for president, but it's nothing personal against her. It's black men just really waking up to the fact that we need to start getting
but
something
DJ,
for
right?
our
This is where I give what we do here so much credit. Over a month ago, right, Dr. Wyatt and I talked about the CNBC economic report that said black men and boys were being left out of the nation's economy, right? So let's not have this surface discussion about these three people. Let's go deeper. That's what we're talking about. Appreciate you, good brother.
Thank you,
all right,
DJ.
y'all have a good one.
All right.
I think the conversation, the fallacy in the argument to me is always when folk tell you, well, you got to think of it like that. I don't have to think of it like that because that's your perspective.
That's right.
That's why we're having the conversation because as DJ said, people have been investing, black men, black families, black communities, investing. And what have you gotten? But the point that he said, but that it kind of went fast about it just so happened to happen on her term. But that's a part of the conversation here.
So
that's a part of the conversation because, as he said, if the candidate was Stacey Abrams, he'd have been out here gung ho. But he could tell us why.
So he's
doing that. That's all we're saying. Like, what is your reason you're going so hard against her in terms of this election?
My friend, who's a psychiatrist, right, behavior specialist. When I called him and we spoke about first of all, Wendell and I, and they even took Wendell's comments. Wendell said he wasn't chastising the president. The media tried to make it seem like he was doing. Wendell was basically saying, hey, because they're friends. Hey, hold on. Don't paint it with a broad. Yeah. But don't let
that's how they're going to take it.
Don't let the media take it and run with it.
They're going to take it and run with it, yes.
So when I called my friend who's more qualified when you're talking about the mental health and maybe why, because I wanted to understand, because I was frustrated by President Obama's comments at first. Yeah. And trying to understand, hey, man, why are you talking about me, right? Wasn't really talking about me. My friend said something that he said, hold on a second, right? Anytime they can drive a wedge between us, right? Yeah. And get us to forget. So he say, OT, you'll find this moments of when you've benefited, right, in your family come from what? I said, well, my grandmother and my mama, when you talk about nurturing. He said, so, but if you don't remember that love, if you don't understand that love.
Or you have no place to remember from, you never had it.
Or if you never had that love.
That's a different perspective.
Or if you've been marketed to where you forget that or you compartmentalize that somewhere out of your life, then we've always been the wonderful grand products of matriarchal.
Yes, indeed.
Of a matriarchal society.
That's where we come from. That's the origin of who we are.
That's our country.
But we have to finish this conversation, y'all. We have to go to break, Don. Please stay on the line. Do not leave us. Stay right here with WBOK 1230 AM.
The station everybody's talking
about. They talking, it's hot right now. Our station.
You know it's our station, girl.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Another mostly sunny day with highs in the upper 70s to low to mid-80s. It will still feel comfortable as humidity is down. Light winds are expected. Then tonight, lows fall to the 50s and the 60s. More low to mid-80s expected Wednesday, staying dry throughout the rest of the week, with more temperatures into those lower 80s, just slightly above average. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, this is State Senator Joe Bowie. On November 5th, we have a historic school board election in our District 2, and I am seeking your support for Dr. Eric Doc Jones. Dr. Jones is a native New Orleanian and the only educator in the District 2 race. He is committed to our children and has the courage to ensure our children and community have a quality public education system. Please join me and vote Dr. Eric Doc Jones, Orleans Parish School Board District 2. He's number 12 on the ballot.
This is Eric Doc Jones, and I approve this message.
Join the conversation Friday, October 25th with Calvin Luster from Home Bank during the Good Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. Don't miss Calvin Luster from Home Bank live on the Good Morning Show Friday, October 25th at 8:30 a.m.
Life moves fast, and you don't want to miss a second of it. Keep up with everything you've got going on by getting vaccinated against flu and COVID-19. By getting vaccinated, you're protecting yourself from severe symptoms and lowering your risk of ending up in the hospital. Stay healthy and be there for whatever comes your way. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon to What's Growing New Orleans. Hosted by Angel Vanderpool, What's Growing New Orleans is a weekly conversation about developing and growing Black businesses throughout the region. Brought to you by the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am Dr. Ashanta Wyatt.
On fire.
Big sweetheart.
You know when I had to call in traffic, I knew you was about to you was lighting the fuse. But it's a national discussion right now. And brothers and sisters, we on the phone talking about this
But
issue.
let's be very, very clear. Dr. Wyatt loves black men.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no doubt about that.
And an uplifter and supporter of black men.
I am not against you.
Right.
My job here is to push thought. We
Absolutely.
have critical thinking conversations here.
And we'll continue.
And there's no wrong
You
perspective.
may disagree with it, but
your perspective.
You may disagree with it, but
You
we're going
might
to talk about it.
disagree with it. But understand that, like, I have not just opinions of mine, but I have a knowledge base where I could support my thought process. So that's all I'm asking you to do is, like, where does that thought come from? That's all. But we have Big Don on line one. Good morning, Don. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning, brother.
Don't call me brother.
Good morning, black man.
Remember that OJ's record? Don't call me brother.
All the way from Houston.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah. It was 53% of white women voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Talk about it, Don.
Yeah, DJ said that earlier.
Yeah. And, I hear black men being left out.
So what's wrong with them?
Anytime, for instance, like in the state of Alabama, they have secretly funded a $1 billion prison with 4,000 beds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But yet they can fight against HBCUs, public HBCUs, for building dormitories or renovating their dormitories to provide housing for the incoming freshmen. And they've been fined in many cases, like North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State has been all the HBCU land grant institutions have been chastised for building new dormitories. Isn't that ironic? And Black Men City, it's all political. And then if you look at voter turnout, that Billy Preston song, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. If you're not voting, then you're not in the game. And if you don't know the rules of the game, that's a different aspect of our civic duty and educational system.
Good
But
point.
let me ask you this question. They asked, I heard a reporter ask Kamala Harris, would she be a continuation of the Biden administration? Now, the Biden administration, the infrastructure, bipartisan infrastructure bill, 16 million jobs, the lowest black unemployment since the peculiar institution. And but are we not supposed to move forward with good policy? In other words, why are they asking the Republicans about Reaganomics? Are you going to ask Republicans, are you going to continue the Reagan policy of Reaganomics or the FDR New Deal? Or are we going to continue with Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid? So my premise is they want her to separate herself from her accomplishment. Yet when Jeffrey Osborne and Diana Ross, when they did a solo project, they didn't separate them from LTD and the Supremes, did they?
Lines are lit up. That's a great question, Big Don. Appreciate you, man.
Thank
lines
you, Don.
are lit up. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the discussion. Yeah, it should. Are you going to continue these programs if it benefit me? Yeah.
Well, that's Don's point. They're trying to separate her from the achievements
Right.
in her vice presidency role,
Right.
so they can focus on her
Right.
what they would perceive as inadequacies. That's why they continue to push her on certain things. And then when she came up with the plan, that they moved the goalpost. Now it's not about that. They ask about what she's going to do specific to black men. She comes out with a plan specific to black men. Now they don't want to talk about the plan specific to black men. So it's just a layered conversation to have. And I'm sure Miss Alicia has something to add to this conversation. Good morning, Miss Alicia.
Good morning, Miss Alicia. God bless.
Good morning. Thanks, Don, for setting me up. First, let me say one of my best and dearest friends, and both of you know her, is Jewish attorney Jackie Goldberg.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Straight Republican, right?
Yeah.
Straight Republican, but she does favor some Democrats. She loves you, Oliver.
Yes.
And she loves Dr. White.
Yes.
Thank you, Jackie.
We love her.
To the point where Jackie was about to turn over some tables when she was short 2 votes of the Republican endorsement,
Right.
when Dr. Wyatt was.
Right.
But I asked Jackie in one of the, I think the last race, and she was with Trump. I said, Jackie, this man is this man is that. How can you support this man? And so the bottom line was, Jackie, you're rich and wealthy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And those Republicans only work for the rich and wealthy. That's why you can go cast that vote. Because as nice as you are and as sociable as you are, I know so doggone well in all your humanness, you wouldn't vote for this guy otherwise.
Yeah, but when you
And
vote
when-
for your money, that's different.
That's it.
Yes.
Your
yes.
status.
So I tell these black, I've had the conversation, I called them last week, a couple of weeks ago. When they talk about the Democrats don't do anything, Democrats don't do anything, Democrats don't do anything. Oh, I made more money under Trump. You made more money under Trump because you had a Democratic Congress.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we have that, the bottom rung, the 98% do well. One guy said, show me one thing that they did for blacks. I said, nothing that Biden has done or the Democratic Congress excluded blacks. I said, the $35 insulin, who do you think that was for? Who benefited from that more?
Right.
The Social Security, who do you think benefits? None of that is for everybody except blacks. Y'all come on.
Yeah,
So they just need to know civics, number one. They need to know who really take care of them when it comes to this country and how things are. And I think with Kamala, she's a beautiful woman. She's a strong woman. And a lot of black men are intimidated by that. I'll hang up and listen.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good day.
Well, I disagree with the intimidation. I think right here on this show, it's proven in terms of how we see gender.
Yeah.
Right. I can say something one way, and I can get
Dr.
support.
White over here.
Dr. White can say it the same way, and she'll be checked. Or in many cases,
I was called arrogant. We had the same. We had the same thought process.
Not long ago. Yeah, we actually said the same thing different, and we see that play out. So that's why we owe it to discussion to take a look at.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's real. Misogyny.
Yeah.
And male dominance is real. But then the other side of it is, I don't want to hear women paint all of us with a broad brush.
And I agree.
You know, and I think we owe it to ourselves to have the discussion and really listen.
Yeah. Because if Kamala Harris being in the running to be the president of the United States, if it hasn't done anything, it's opened the door of conversation between black men and black women
There's
that
no
I
doubt
believe is
about it.
long overdue.
Long overdue.
Because we've been so busy battling each other with, this idea that women are more increasingly becoming breadwinners, and that's somehow weakening,
Right.
the stature of black men in their homes. And so, black women are getting more degreed and going into more, jobs where it's paying the type of money that you would typically see in alignment with what they pay men. And I think all of that is sometimes a design to weaken us as a unit. I don't want that to happen in terms of who we decide to vote for or what our stance is on voting for that person to further divide us. We need to be each other's support.
You just provoked a thought in me, right? And I was listening to you give the chronology of it, right? And so when we talk about over incarceration, right, discrimination, slavery, middle passes, black men being targeted, then the criminal justice system,
the welfare system,
raiding our community, right, the welfare system penalizing men for being in the home. So I thought about this while you were talking, Dr. Wyatt. So the sisters wasn't supposed to step up?
No, you should.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's what a helpmate is.
So I'm being punished.
Yes.
And you ain't supposed to step up, go for the job, go for the position.
Yes.
Be a leader.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. But the fallacy or the continuation of it that nobody talks about is, so what happens when he comes back? Now I've stepped up when he comes back. How do I then take a step back to allow him to lead, to take his rightful place? Because yes,
and
if
that's
something
where we are in this
incapacitates
discussion
you,
right
I'm
now.
supposed to step up. I tell people all the time that's the whole goal of a chess match is for the
No
queen to
doubt
protect
about
her
it.
king. So if something happens and I step up to protect you and you come back to the tribe,
That's right.
I need to
'Cause-
acquiesce to your leadership,
because-
or is that not the conversation?
Look, we got to go, but let me tell y'all this for real.
What do we do?
For real. This is a real moment in history when you talk about that topic.
Yes.
And black men are talking about it.
Yes. But I believe the conversation has to include black women.
No doubt
Because
about it.
even with the black men for Kamala, black women, it's still a separate
What you
thing.
think? You think sweet? You think so, sweetheart?
Yes, yeah, big sweetheart. Listen, we will have more. Look at the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to talk to Percy Merchant, the management consultant, grant writer, and program developer for Boo That 504. Stay with us right here on WBOK 1230 AM.
The
Our
station everybody talking about. We'll
is
be
hot
back after
right
this.
now.
All right, we'll be back.
WBOK 1230 AM New Orleans. Home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. President Biden is honoring recipients of the National Medal of Arts and Humanities. Speaking at a White House ceremony, the president said the recipients are masters of their craft who have made America better. Monday's ceremony recognized both class of 2022 and 23 recipients. Officials in the Baltimore suburb of Jessup say more than 40 people were hospitalized with food poisoning after they reportedly ate the same meal. Emergency crews from 3 counties responded to reports of multiple sick patients Monday afternoon at a wholesale seafood distributor. McDonald's says it does not endorse political candidates for elected office. The fast food chain sent a memo to employees following former President Trump serving French fries at a Pennsylvania location on Sunday. And Game 1 of the World Series is just around the corner. The Dodgers and Yankees clash in Los Angeles on Friday to kick off the 7-game series. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Join New Schools for New Orleans, Allstate Sugar Bowl, and Entergy New Orleans in recognizing and celebrating the Teachers of the Year at our 3rd annual New Orleans Excellence in Teaching Awards, Noetta Gala. The gala will take place Saturday, November 2nd at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. This year's gala will feature Grammy-nominated Tank and the Bangers. Don't miss out on this intimate celebration supporting our New Orleans public school teachers. Tickets can be purchased on our website, newschoolsforneworleans.org.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Listen, the conversation is hot this morning.
But
huh?
no doubt about it. But an important conversation.
Much needed.
And we've learned a couple of things.
Yes.
And I know hopefully at some point Dr. Wyatt will summarize, because this conversation, man, I haven't heard it like this on any national outlet.
Mhm.
I haven't heard it on any other news or local outlet. But it is one of the most important. You mentioned earlier, but this is a moment in time in history.
Yes.
Not just about a presidential campaign.
Not at all.
But about our community.
Unifying
about
black men and women. Yes, that's what this is about.
that
It
is
could literally
absolute-
be
that is
a
absolutely
vehicle to
correct.
healing
Powerful.
us, right? Papa Baptiste, what you talking about?
Papa
Good
Bat.
morning.
Hey, Papa.
But anyway, Sharika, that's fake.
Talk to us, Papa.
And I was.
Talk to us.
What about it? Oh. Hey, Oliver. Yeah, I'm talking to the kid. Look, I was just telling them this about the fake hashtag 45 supposed to be serving French fries. Had all these camera people set up like they were coming by to get the fries and everything else.
Right.
And now they're saying he's serving French fries. I sometimes wonder. Tell everybody good morning, Ticoon.
Good morning.
We at St. Stephen. I'm dropping the kids off.
Yeah. Talk to us, Papa.
I do not figure. I can't think of any reason why an African American would vote for somebody, and I don't think our black men are dumb. Now, the lady earlier said the Congress is the one who gave that money out. He wanted to put his picture on his number, on his checks that came
That's
out.
what politicians do.
The stimulus checks and stuff. That came from the Democratic Congress. He was trying his best to stop that. So some of our politicians need to put that out, because some of our young men, like I said, they're not dumb. They're saying, hey, man, I'm going for Trump. He gave us that money, man. We got that money. No, he didn't. Please tell everybody that the money from the stimulus came from the Congress during that COVID time, during the period of time. It did not come from hashtag 45. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Papa Baptiste. We appreciate you. And listen, talking about this conversation, I know Wendell Pierce had an interview with CNN, and I think it's important that we hear what that was, because I think it just perfectly aligns.
Tee it up, Naira.
I think it perfectly aligns. Let's see what was said.
I've known the president for years now, and a mutual contact, said that he wanted to speak. I wanted to speak to him. I didn't offer it as a criticism. For me, it was nothing more than strategists in a room saying, hey, what is the best messaging for black men? I have focused the past 6 weeks of going around the country with a barbershop campaign, right? Going to barbershops to talk to black men, since I heard this every election cycle, they always say that black men are siphoned off. And I found the most effective way to communicate to the men in those gatherings was saying, what do you want? Vote for what you want. Declare what your values are, and then go out and make the choice on that. Don't consider my candidate or the other candidate. Vote for what you want. And I found it to be effective. What they would say is, what are you doing here? This is the first time someone came and asked that of me. And so I was saying, simply, that's not the way to get to folks. What I've experienced in the past 6 weeks is the fact folks want to see, what have you delivered?
Did he acknowledge that it was not delivered the right way?
We actually didn't get into which was better or if it was criticism. It was saying that we were on the same page. We just wanted to clear it. We wanted to make sure that we were on the same page and that we wanted to reach out to folks. And I think it's just a matter of messaging, one way or the other, and that the focus shouldn't be on the criticism or what is perceived as criticism or what is perceived as the right way or the wrong way to get to black men. The first thing is to approach and engage black men, accept the challenge, and get out the vote.
I mean, Coleman, we had you on last week when this happened. You were critical of it then. Yeah. And you probably believe, I assume, that there is some movement toward the right among black men.
I mean, we've been talking about that not only on this show, on other shows on this network for over a year. Pew has been studying this issue. There is a clear trend among black men towards the Republican Party and away from Democrats. It's not just about Trump or Biden or Kamala. It's about a party effect. And the question is, why is that? I think it's even bigger than black men. I think it's men in general. I think there's something about the Democratic Party that is
significant.
A lot.
It's
probably
insignificant.
20 different
We've had the same conversation going all the way back.
No, actually, it's really a phenomenon of.
And the fact is, in this election,
the past 8 years,
give me any candidate who wouldn't want 85% of any demographics vote.
Trump
Because that's what
actually
that's
got
what
more
they're
of the black vote in 2020 than
No, he actually got 3 points.
within-
You're actually right. He got 3 more points. He got 3 more points.
You also think it's
Yes,
not
a
a
trend line.
significant.
A trend line is not 4. It's not 3 points.
Burying your head in the sand isn't going to fix
I
it.
know, and that's why we're going around messaging to people.
Right, but I think the
Obviously,
problem
calling
Obama
black
had,
men sexist
I think
is
the
not
problem,
gonna
the
fix
problem
this issue.
Obama had, and I even reacted to it when he did it, and I've been on the other side of when Obama does that. It's the sort of lectury chiding Obama without treating them in a respectful manner. I didn't find that a respectful way to treat anybody, and immediately really pushing hard on
Well, yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Wendell.
I like the clarity on it.
Yeah,
I like that. And I think
yeah.
what he did, the commentary there was to make certain that, like we said earlier,
Right.
the former president's comments are not taken as
Correct.
a divisive measure
Correct.
amongst black voters, specifically black men. And I like the clarity for him to push and say, no, we were just saying that we're on the same page.
Yeah, and then Wendell mentioned when you mentioned, okay, so if that's how you feel, then
Yes.
what are the reasons?
That's it.
Right? What's causes it?
That's it.
Let's talk about it. Let's get to those things.
Because then and only then can we then create and craft a plan to move forward. Because if I don't know why you're hurt,
Right.
I can't help heal the hurt, right?
No doubt.
We have a caller online too. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good morning, Michael. God bless you. You're on with Dr. White.
Morning. Oliver, this question is addressed to you because
Okay.
you're the oldest.
Okay.
Out of me and the doctor.
Yeah, I am the oldest.
Okay. Al Gore,
Yes.
Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
They got the most votes. They received more votes than their opponent, right?
Correct.
In those elections.
But they lost.
But they lost. My thing with the presidential elections, I don't really care about it. I'm more focusing on getting rid of Kennedy, Jeff Landry, Bill Cassidy, and Steve Scalise.
Right.
The electoral votes, you know why they keep going back and forth to Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona?
Electoral college.
Exactly. So all this stuff about who you voting for, this and that and everything in the presidential election, I'm not worrying about that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to focus on mostly focus on local elections.
Mm-hmm.
I feel I can control that more than a presidential election. They're gonna get up there and say what they got to say, this and that and everything.
And Mike, but that's why we do what we do here. It is an education to elevate those things that it may be a national discussion, but it plays out locally in our homes and in our hearts, right? In our community. And so, and that's what we're trying to do, right? We're basically trying to say, hey, hold on a second, right? This may be a national discussion, but this thing is really about us here locally. Period.
Yeah. We need to focus, especially Jeff Landry, Kennedy, Cassidy. Come on, man, we got to get rid of these people and stuff. Now, I hope Kamala wins, but like I said before, I truly do think white females will not vote for a black female. I know that guy down don't agree with me, but I just don't see it. Mm-hmm. And be honest with you, a couple of my friends who are black males, they are saying they're voting for Trump.
Yeah,
So,
but what Dr. White and I are trying to do is roll back the why.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I'm. Somebody will say, yeah, we're voting for Trump. Okay, well, why?
Yeah.
Okay, because first of all, we know that he's disparaging
Yes.
to you. We know that he's disrespectful to women. So, what is it because of your business? Is it because of
Just
your
tell me why.
tax
Because if
break?
you can name all the reasons why you can't vote for her,
Or even if it's because of misogyny.
Yes.
Admit
Just say
it.
that.
Admit it.
Yeah. Say
Admit
that
it.
and
Admit
stand
it,
on
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let me say this also. These youngsters coming up today, they act like they don't know who their enemy is. You see, Trump, he puts it right in your face. He's not coming with his hands behind his back, trying to smooth talk. He's letting you know this is the way I am, this and that.
Okay,
and
Mike, you
everything.
just said a mouthful, right? But let me say this, right? He may not know who his enemy is. Some of the discussions that we have with young black men, whether it's Black Men Bill, the conversations with the 200 men with Seth 45, Reverend Brown, and Phil Brock, when you listen to young men, they don't know where they fit. So the importance of what we're doing here, the importance of what Wendell Pierce did in talking to President Obama was, let's find out why. Let's not just paint a broad brush, right? And stereotype. Let's find out what those reasons are, Mike, and that's what we're trying to do. Thank you, man.
Thank you for your call, Mike.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Wow, Black Social Media.
And I think it's given some concrete rationale behind maybe the why,
right?
As to why we are seeing the trend of like the earlier caller said, this trend. So supposed trend.
If you want to make 3 or 4% alive,
right? If that's the trend. But the article by Black Source Media is called "Disparity Plagued and Not Voting for Kamala: The Democratic Party's Misstep with Black Men." It says in the article, the phrase "disparity plagued" and not voting for Kamala perfectly encapsulates why many Black men are drifting away from the Democratic Party. It has nothing to do with not wanting a woman president. These men who live in cycles of economic and social inequality feel increasingly disconnected from the promises of the political system. If the Democratic Party continues to fail at delivering tangible, life-changing solutions, they risk losing this critical demographic.
I think that's what was it Uptown or DJ who talked about the system, right?
Yeah.
And that's why this discussion is important. So what has the system not done, right?
Yeah.
What has the system not done enough to make sure that Black men are maintained in school, right? That they go to college. The CNBC report, everybody keeps forgetting it, but you and I put that on the table for the last few months.
Mm-hmm.
They said that Black men and boys are being left out of the nation's economy. Okay, how do we fix that?
And the reason they're being left out the nation's economy is because they're first disserviced in the school system, because they are.
That's where it starts.
They are like the disparity in the population of Black boys in special education is jarring when you look at the numbers. There is no
and it's
reason.
Highlighted in the article.
I'm
here.
just saying because it's research based,
That's
right? The article also goes on to say the number one reason some Black men are not supporting Kamala Harris is the Democratic Party's failure to deliver on economic change. The party often talks about closing a racial wealth gap, but many Black men see little improvement. Disparity-plagued Black men experience high barriers to accessing capital. Even when they do get the loans, predatory lending practices make it harder to succeed. High interest rates, shorter terms, large upfront money requirements only deepen economic inequality.
One of my peers and someone that I have a lot of respect for, Byron Lee, councilman in Jefferson Parish, he has 2 phrases he uses all the time. Working together works, and hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
So what we're trying to do is dig down into where the hurt is. The hurt economic. Is the hurt starts in the family.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier, Dr. White, that brought back a childhood memory to me. Everybody knows, man, Kenny Black was a very good friend of me and my brother. Black was a real dude, real street dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had notches, right? But people would wonder why we loved him, and he loved us. He was our family, right? He was hurt. His relationship with his mother was volatile.
Yeah.
It was very painful. Many times he was put out of the house where she would choose people over him.
Yes.
Right? He died as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So so his relationship with women, if you wasn't in our family, with women, was not a good one.
Yeah. And that sadly is a common thread amongst, if you go deep enough to understand.
Right.
And, you know, even personally, I can speak to the fact that we don't realize until we're older and we can look back on certain circumstances. Our parents did the best they had with what they had. And that's something I have to continue to say to myself over and over and over again, because when you're going through traumas and when you're trying to understand the why behind your traumas, you look to the person closest to you. That's probably most often the person you're hurting the most is the person closest to you, and then you blame it on the person that stayed. My daddy decided to leave, but I'm holding my mama accountable to some things, you know what I mean, as if her deciding to parent me wasn't a blessing in and of itself, no matter what that looks like. I am who I am because of who my mother was, for better or for worse.
So I'm going to ask you, as an educator, right, someone who's you dedicated your life to the children, and you had to understand that mama, that daddy, or whoever, whether they were there or not. So my question to you is, this discussion is important right now.
Yes.
Is it just trending during this election, or are we at that moment in time in history where we not only have to have this discussion, we got to work through it?
I think it's the latter, because I think the election is magnifying it in such a way. But I think this is a conversation that we've always had in silos, like Wendell said, in the barbershops, right? Or at the beautician, but the women are at the hairdresser talking, the men are at the barbershop talking, but rarely are they together, you know, in the same space, because we have more in common about our hurts than we have it, you know, it differently. And so I think if we talk about it, we could also be able to better respect each other's humanity and understand that I want you to lead. I don't want to be out here being a breadwinner. I don't care what the rest of them saying. I'm letting you know that that's not what I want to be doing.
Time for healing.
It is. But I do it out of necessity, right? And you have to do what you have to do. But do I want black men to take their rightful places? Absolutely. I think it creates a balance that we're missing.
Earlier, that you can't be mad because you stepped up.
Yeah, and not only that, black men shouldn't feel no slight about a woman that's out earning them if the money is still within the partnership. Like, relax, you know what I mean? I think relationships in black communities and families is about filling gaps. Because when your mama wasn't there, your auntie filled the gap.
Can we admit that the male ego can be a disease too?
It could be, but I mean, there's a lot of things we could say on both sides.
Okay.
But the conversation we're having, and I hope the outcome is this idea that we are stronger as a unit, moving in the same direction. Because in a boat, you could either drill a hole or you could row it. I want to be a rower. That's what I want to be. The conversation is hot. We have a caller on line 1. Good morning, Walter. How are you?
Hey, Walter. Good morning. God bless you, Mr. Walter.
Are you there, Walter?
Hello, Mr. Walter?
Did we lose him?
Hello?
Did we lose him?
I guess. That
there he is.
He's going to bring you back to the. I think you talked about the 18th century the other day.
Walter, you say not 19th, but 18th century.
He said he want to bring you back to the 18th century.
He going to be on Bridgerton. You going to watch Bridgerton?
He's saying he want to get the police absolute immunity if they kill you. Now, who they killing? They killing black folks. They're not killing white folks.
Yeah.
And nothing that could be done about it. I mean, he disgrace us in so many ways with the things that he says. So what? And then they talking about, well, I had more money when he was there. I'm kind of a little disappointed as to why the Democrats or the people like the check that he's getting. A lot of people do think that Trump gave him that check. And I was talking to some young men and they said, oh yeah, Trump gave me that check. And why the Democratic Party haven't let that known that he didn't right before now, to educate people that don't know that. But I'm just puzzled as and in this thing about a woman making more money than you. I was married. Me and my wife was married before she died. We were together 33 years. It wouldn't have mattered to me if my wife made more money than me. If you love somebody and y'all together, y'all two supposed to be one anyway.
I agree.
Right.
And that's crazy to say, oh, because the woman make more money than me, I'm not gonna make that has something to do with my masculinity. No, that ain't got nothing to do with that. We as black people, we need to educate our young people too, because I'm finding that a lot of I talk to some of the younger people, they don't know about the when we used to have the black and the white fountains at Swagman, or you went to the gas station to use the restroom. They had the restaurant for the colored people, and you'll be surprised that some of the youngsters today know nothing about that.
But Mr. Walter, it's in your opinion, it's important we're finally having this discussion, right? Publicly, but there's some things that need to work out privately.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Walter.
Absolutely, man.
Listen, what do you think? We gonna break or?
Naira, we're gonna break and come back. T-Bone's gonna hold.
Yeah, you gonna hold on for us. Listen, this conversation is so layered, and we want to hear all perspectives.
Man, I would love to hear. We had Miss Jones called earlier, and Miss Alicia called. I would love to hear more women. But I'm so proud of the brothers who are calling up.
Yeah, where the ladies at? 504
where the ladies at?
582-9422. If you want to participate in this conversation, give us a call. We will have more after the break. WBOK 1230 AM.
Hey, but everybody talking about it.
Everybody talking about it. Our station.
It's our station.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU News, and here's a look at what's making headlines today. Happening today, the man accused of a deadly shooting last week in New Orleans will be back in court. The NOPD says Eric Gentry shot and killed 25-year-old Caitlin Howard at an apartment off Morrison Road. WDSU obtained court records which show Gentry was previously arrested for a home invasion at the victim's home. He is now being held in the Orleans Parish Jail on a $20 million bond. And in St. Bernard Parish, the sheriff's office is looking for a suspect on the run following a shooting in Chalmette on Saturday. 26-year-old Jesse Mondi is wanted for attempted murder and child endangerment. Deputies say the shooting centered around a car with a 1-year-old baby inside. 3 other suspects have been arrested, 2 of them minors. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Then Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour takes over New Orleans in just a few days. And in anticipation, the city is hosting a Super Second Harvest food drive. Organizers say the event is inspired by the pop star's many charitable efforts. So to take part, it is simple. Just make a donation today to Second Harvest Food Bank. And finally, early voting continues in Louisiana now through October 29th. The polls are open daily from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. And remember, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. That's a look at today's headlines. I'm Morgan Lentis with WDSU. Have a great day.
NOLA Public Schools is excited to be on this 2024-25 school year journey with our families, watching our students dive into learning, growth, and success. As the school year continues, our dedicated educators are focused on keeping every student engaged and motivated. Let's keep embracing new challenges, celebrating achievements, and supporting each other to make the rest of this year even more impactful. Stay connected with your school and NOLA PS through our social media channels for updates and resources. We're here to help our scholars. Attend today, achieve tomorrow.
Join the conversation Friday, October 25th with Calvin Luster from Home Bank during the Good Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. Don't miss Calvin Luster from Home Bank live on the Good Morning Show Friday, October 25th at 8:30 a.m.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Do you have both Medicare and Medicaid? With the People's Health Medicare Advantage Plan, you could get up to $280 per month to spend on utilities, healthy groceries, and over-the-counter items. $280 per month. Don't miss out on these extra benefits. Call 1-844-663-2135. Plans are insured through United Healthcare Insurance Company or one of its affiliated companies, a Medicare Advantage organization with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in the plan depends on the plan's contract renewal with Medicare.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month, a service of the community scientist and Rise St. James. This month, we're focusing on lead, a heavy metal that's dense, soft, and poses serious health risks. In Cancer Alley, lead exposure from industrial emissions or contaminated soil can significantly increase cancer risks and other health problems. Stay informed and protect your health. For more information, visit risestjames.org.
Hi, this is Cleveland Spears, partner at Equity Media and WBOK 1230 AM. I have a message for you today. I want to remind you to exercise your constitutional right to get out and vote. This upcoming election will prove to be historic. We can have the opportunity to set us on a path for the future of hope and prosperity. Or this election also represents going backwards to a less flattering time in our nation's history. Exercise your right to vote and bring your friends, cousins, neighbors, and family members with you to the polls.
For everything you need to know, go to GoVote.com. That's GEAUX Vote.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show.
Good morning.
On WBOK 1230 AM.
We are back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. The conversation is heavy and necessary.
And it's an important. It's a conversation that had to be had. It's amazing how I'm hearing some first in terms of open feelings. from people. That
Shout out to Black Source Media to actually put some concrete ideas behind the why.
Yeah, go to Think 504 and Black Source Media and read that article, man.
Because disparity is important when you're talking about why black men feel so harmed
why people are hurt
by this system. Absolutely. Okay. T-Bone has been so patiently waiting online for us. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much for holding, good brother. You're wrong.
Good morning. I'm going to have to be brief. I got to get in. But here's the thing. I think Obama had to address black men. Why? Because we've been the most vocal.
But did he have to do it? Why? And the way he did it, Bone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did it. He did it cordially.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
He didn't sit up there talk about taking the size 12 and kicking a black man in the butt for what they saying. He had to say something because we tipped the tides and got Trump in office. Okay. And when I say we, I say black men as a community voted for him instead of Hillary Clinton. Black men as a community voted for Biden instead of Trump the other time.
Right.
Now we're reversing course because we don't like Biden, because you saying Trump gave you money. Let me tell you something. Look it up, brothers. When Obama left office, he left with a surplus, not a deficit, not high unemployment. He had record low unemployment. He had a surplus when he left office. So the money that you got from Trump came from him. Stop saying that. If you're going to say it, do your research. Do your damn homework. And I'm telling you as a black man, I did it.
Oh, wow.
By the same token.
Hey, Bone, thank you for admitting that, man.
By the same token, a woman can run things just as much as a man. They proved it in business. They proved it in politics. Stop having that damn hang up. It's stupid for you to even say that and think that in today's day and age. She's not going to come to your household and tell you how to run your household if she becomes president. She's not going to tell you how to run your family. She's not going to tell you whether you can pack a gun for your protection. She's not going to tell you what your child needs to do if they get in a situation of rape. Stop that. It's nonsense. If we vote for this man, we're going back 400 years to era before Reconstruction.
But Bone, before you go, I got to ask you this, man, because you're always thoughtful, right? Why is it taking us so long to have this discussion at this level? Did we need a Barack Obama and a Wendell Pierce to kind of banter to have this discussion?
We've had this discussion at the barber shop.
Right.
We have it with our boys on the corner. We have it with our boys when it's
But it's wide open and naked right now.
But it's wide open and naked. He's like, oh, how he going to sit up there and come out on us? He had to come out on you.
Okay.
Because you're being stupid. I'm calling a spade with a spade.
Gotcha.
You're being stupid. If you have that set mind, you are being stupid.
Thank you.
You don't believe me? Do your research.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, T-Bone.
Because this man didn't do anything to benefit this community when he was in office. Look it up.
T-Bone.
Stop.
T-Bone, thank you, man, as always.
All right, y'all.
Thank you.
All right.
Look, the conversation was so hot. T-Bone said, I got to be brief because I got to go. And then he proceeded to light it up.
XL, black man landed in the studio. Percy Marchand, businessman, entrepreneur.
How's it going? Good morning,
the
everyone.
The conversation was so lit. We have to
Impact 504.
Pivot.
If I can just take a liberty right now. First of all, Percy, thank you. I know if you've been listening to the discussion, I have. Right? What folk don't know, man, as a young black man, entrepreneur, business, community, you've been dealing with this topic for years. How do you feel, right, when you think about this whole conversation around black men abandoning Kamala Harris? How do we get black men? What are the reasons? What is your thought process been?
So actually, it ties directly into what I'm here to talk about.
Oh,
because
well, let's tie it.
Everything in today's age, we always go extremes, right? Mm-hmm. So now everything is on this big national front, and everything is like big programs, big this, and some of the communities and things get left out. So when we talk about what's going on with the election and how people are thinking, we have to stop letting outside media, outside influences shape our narrative and what we stand for. That narrative is BS. Black men aren't abandoning Kamala Harris. And the reality is a lot of white Republicans are coming to Kamala Harris in bigger numbers than that we're losing with those black men leaving. And a lot of those black men that they're interviewing, just being honest, You know, they're going to certain places and picking certain people to come on TV and say that, oh, no, I'm voting for Trump. Now we know what our turnout numbers are with the ones, particularly a lot of the ones that they're talking about. They're not even going to show up to vote. Now, unfortunately, because I would rather you go and vote than not exercise your right. But the reality is, you got a lot of clowns that want to get up and be characters, and they run certain narratives, and they look at Trump and see the gold and he's this, that, and the other. But I mean, if you compare resumes, bankrupt 6 times.
Don't blame the 90%
But
for what 4%
I'm gonna jump in
are
right
doing.
here and say this though, because I'm gonna tell you what I see, and this is a black woman looking at 3 black men who are on a stage. When I look at a person like Antonio Brown, he is the personification of everything that I say about a broken child, right? Yeah. He is looking for somewhere to feel seen, to be heard, to feel validated, to feel loved, and even if that love is a falsehood, even if it's not real, he felt like he belonged in that moment. That's what I see when I saw him. Somebody that is broken in so many places, and he doesn't allow himself to be vulnerable enough to be honest about where the hurt stems from. It shows up in his choices of women. It shows up in how he's procreating and walking away from his responsibilities. It's showing up in this insatiable need to be accepted by someone and something. And that's what I see when I see him. And then on the other hand, I see a lot of other people just following the lead of who they think is popular. And that also gives them the opportunity to be heard, to be seen, to be validated. Because outside of a football field, where have you ever seen those men stand in the projection of that many people at one time, looking at them and listening to them, because they're placating to what they think is the representation of all black men, and it's just not. Oliver said it earlier, you guys are not a monolith. There's a variety of different reasons why people take the stances that they take. And this conversation we're having is strictly about the why behind it. And if you can name your why, then that is your prerogative. But to just be misinformed, ill-informed, or uninformed is not acceptable in 2024. You don't have the luxury of ignorance, in my opinion. So to me, you have to inform yourself, and that is why we're having this important conversation. And the fact that we have to pivot about what you actually came here to talk about.
It's not even a pivot, though, because you were a direct lead in to everything that this event is about. So what did you see? He's missing love.
Yes.
The theme of our mission for Impact 504 is the organization I started to kind of do these types of events and help impact the community positively is spreading love.
Come on.
Number one, bringing hope and changing lives.
Yeah.
So again, I just talked about not letting other people shape our narrative.
Yes.
And we have to grab that leadership and that narrative and create it ourselves.
No doubt
So if our young black men aren't being loved, guess who needs to start loving them more?
Yeah.
It's not just your child. It's not just your nephew. It's not just your cousin. It's the community. And that's what I grew up with. And that's why I'm passionate about the way I am.
This conversation with, because that's the way I live my life.
Proverbs says train up a child. Didn't say your child.
And that's what I think is missing from the conversation. Is just this idea that when people spew these sorts of negative ideologies about her, that's coming from a hurt place.
Hurt people hurt, love people love.
You gotta figure out, and that's what we're trying to do, is understand what is the origin of that hurt. Because why do you feel like you could get on national TV and call her a tramp, like you literally wrote it on your clothing and presented it to the world, and then you can't even explain to us why that is, and then all you want to come back and do is apologize because you're trying to placate or like put yourself into a space where you feel valued, even if it's flawed, even if it's wrong. It's just that feeling in that moment of being accepted by somebody. And that's how we end up in wrong places.
Well, let us love you out of
friendships, relationships. That's how we end up in wrong places, because we're looking for something and it's feeding that temporary need.
Let us love you out at October the 6th.
Come on now.
At 2900 block.
October 26th.
October 26th. October 20 at
Impact 504.
Buddha.
So how are you using this particular programming to help bring awareness of domestic violence?
So we're actually partnering with 2 domestic service providers, Help a Sister Out, which is run by Tanisha Jones, and then the New Orleans Family Justice Center. So what we're doing, we'll be collecting items. You can bring items to the event. And again, the address where you come is, you can look up if you want to put in an address. You can do 2927 Ottoman Street. But we'll be collecting diapers, wipes, household cleaning supplies, newly slightly used coats and jackets, non-perishable microwavable foods. We're also accepting donations, and we're doing a 50-50 raffle that will benefit both of those organizations.
A 50-50 raffle.
Yeah, they get a big winner, one big winner.
Yes.
You know, and as so the way this came about with this part of it, last year when the young lady, the mother lost her 2 kids and all her possessions to the domestic violence situation. It was a few weeks before the event, and while Wayne and Megan Andre came and approached me, they're like, "Why don't you add a service element to BOODAT?" And so we were able to raise between like funds and different goods and stuff about $2,000 worth of stuff to give to that mother. And that's the idea of what this organization Impact 504 is about. You know, I'm trying to change the narrative of what we think about nonprofits. You know, to the point where regular everyday citizens really feel involved and can participate and get the energy and the spirit of, like, you know, as a, some people might just write a check and that's all you can do, that's you can do. But we want to provide opportunities so you can go out and those underhoused people under the bridge, we can give them resources. And there's a difference when you go under that bridge and you smell the smells and you see the sights. And we bring youth, we bring older people, everybody, and they go out and they come back and they're like, when's the next one?
So this is the 4th annual?
This is the 4th annual BOODAT. Okay. Yeah. So it started right after COVID in, was that 2021? And it was like everybody's tired of being inside. The vaccines were out. Saints were playing. It was like, let's get together, have a Saints game. My brother used to do these kind of back in the day, probably about 12, 13 years ago over his house in the 7th Ward. And he got kind of tired and wanted to take a break from it. So he took a break for about 5 years. And I was like, well, you going to do it again? He was like, no, I don't think so. So I was like, I'll pick it up and bring it to the, you know, back to the home. And so it started off with like family and friends. And each year just kind of grew and grew and grew to it. And last year, you know, we started getting sponsorships and partnerships. The main thing that I want to do with this is our area. And I know this from running from office. And, you know, we're like a pocket in a real mixed area that they just kind of forget about. They don't put any resource. This is in the past. They didn't put any kind of resource back. Even though we have, if you look at the back of my brochure on the website, I've been able to partner with like 30 different organizations and individuals in this area. Politicians too. Yeah, absolutely. They've been fully supportive from the first day I've asked. And the thing is, our neighborhood, we have so many resources present in it, but there was a big disconnect between the neighborhood and the resources were there. And that's partially on both parts. You know, there's been some bad blood. There's been lots of contention and things like this, people fighting, money, this, that, and other, all those different issues like that. But it's a new day. We have a new wave of leadership. And we want people to know that we're doing big things in Gertown. So I'll give you one example. We have like 3 major sponsors, right? We have Xavier University has come in and XU representing. They cut a check. They're bringing about 50 volunteers. They have the marching band performing, the Chili's will be performing. So it's those type of interactions that happen that make the community see what's here and that they have access to it. There's so many resources on this campus alone that could benefit this community. And we look at so many HBCUs and the relationships between the communities. It's crazy because so often they're in communities that aren't doing well and aren't thriving when they should be thriving. And that those interconnections between the institutions will make the difference. TCA, right down the street, Total Community Action. That's another one of our major sponsors. Right there in the neighborhood. You know, but do people know all of the services? Everybody's heard of TCA, obviously, right? But, you know, just creating opportunities for them to come into the neighborhood as opposed to like, you know, you're at your office. Or you may go to like an event downtown or something like that, but have an event in the community that you're there, you're present. Ms. French brings about 10 of her staff members. They come and they work and they love the event. Transcendent Law Group, Michelle Craig, she's an amazing lawyer. She volunteers. She's the one who did all my paperwork for a nonprofit for free. Every single event that we do, she writes the check, she comes, she volunteers and helps. And that's what we have to start doing in our communities. That's why I said shape that narrative. And it's not, you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have access to this. Everybody says, oh, I'm going to wait till I get this and I'm going to wait to get that. But meanwhile, our community is suffering. And while so many of our leaders are focused on those big national programs and big dollars, our people are suffering. And so, you know, before this is all we could do was, right, come together and, you know, throw the penny parties and do the things that we could do, right, because that's all we had access to. But now as we're improving economically in some of us, you know, we're spending $20,000 to send our daughter to a prom and we won't give $10 to a community event. That's a problem. Yeah. I tell you, one of the reasons why I'm so easily flowing with this stuff, I had a gambling addiction. Mm-hmm. That gambling addiction, I would spend thousands and thousands of dollars and it'd be gone like that. You know, and it would come back, but it would be gone like that. And I was like, well, if I'm doing this, why not do it for something positive? Like, why not? And so this became my addiction. This is my community, this is my addiction now. And the crazy thing is, when I tell you I could get on the phone and probably raise about $3,000 to go gamble with, but let me try to raise $1,000 for a community event. It's crazy. But the good thing is, like I said, we've had almost 30 people who have come up and who have stepped up and who have given and supporting this great event. Let me talk a little bit about the event so people know about it.
Absolutely.
Free event, Saturday, October 26th. This is the 4th annual. It gets bigger and bigger every year. It's going to be even bigger for our 5th year next year. We're expecting about 400 or 500 people. We have arts and craft. STEM NOLA, which is in Gertown, will be out there. They come out and they do the thing. We have like carnival games and amusement rides. The New Orleans Fire Department brings out one of their fire engines. One of the most fun part. The kids get on and they get like free reign of the fire truck. Again, interactions with our first responders. This year, they did it in the past, but Second District NOPD usually participates with us. They unfortunately Taylor Swift is taking all the police department people. But all right, Taylor, we're gonna let you have them. We do a free dinner. We everything is free again. We have a NOLA paparazzi photo booth. We have a pregame pep rally with some special guests that we want to announce, but y'all will be excited about them. Shay O'Connor from Channel 6 is going to be hosting our youth and adult Halloween costume contest. Then we'll have a safe trunk or treat, and then the big finale is the Fright Night Haunted House, which I've been working on for about a month. Oh, I did. And
DJ Iris Spins.
DJ Iris Spins.
Yeah.
Believe me, that's a highlight. We made a mistake last year. We had her at the end, but because it was such a long day, like it was basically down to like the last 40, 50 people there. Yeah. But this year we got her right in the prime spot between 3 and 6. She'll be spending in the block. So Dancing in the Street, we definitely will be doing it with DJ Iris. She's very supportive. Comes to all about stuff.
A person knowing you and your family for quite some time, man. This transition from entrepreneurship, you're one of the youngest entrepreneurs when you started talking about black business. And what got you this transition now where you're involved in nonprofits and philanthropy now? But when as a young man, you were one of our leading young businessmen.
Yeah, and I took my horn. I was the youngest black licensed, well, not black, but the youngest licensed business entrepreneur when I was 16 when I started. Well, 14 actually when I started. Yeah. But I did all of that stuff, and I kind of, money came and went. Had Katrina, had to rebuild. Right. Had a fire, had to rebuild. And what that taught me, first of all, was like this was stuff that in both of those instances I lost almost everything I had, physical, property wise. Yeah. And but within like months, I had all of that back and more. Right. And so what that told me was God is good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's like what he taught me was give, and you're gonna be all right. You could give your last, and it's not gonna be your last, guaranteed. And so I've had all those that entrepreneur life that came from what people poured into me, my community poured into me, and now it's time to pay it forward. And what we want to do is I pay it forward, and then that love that I pour into you pour out to other people.
Wow, let's go.
And that's how it spreads.
Look, the people want to talk to you. Line 1, Piper. Good morning.
Good morning,
welcome to the
Piper.
Good Morning Show.
Piper, good morning to you.
Did we lose it? That's okay.
Let me just say Boodat.com too. Go to Boodat.com.
Go to Boodat.com.
You can buy the raffle tickets. You can get all the information, all that stuff on Boodat.com.
Line 2, Reverend Calhoun. Good morning. Welcome to the Good Morning Show.
Good morning, Mr. Man.
Good morning. Good morning. I do understand where the brother is coming from. Getting community help is very, very difficult today. Yeah. As we are preparing now to do the ride to the polls on Saturday, just getting the money together to pay the bus to bring people to the polls, it's a challenge. But getting back to what we're saying, that the community should always come together. As you know, when we grew up down here in the Lower Nine, that was the issue. We came together.
Yep.
This other issue about Mr. Trump, have you noticed that there have not been one general, no military person surrounding him and saying that he's capable of leadership?
Right.
It's been just the opposite. The people that have worked with him before have said he is not capable of true leadership. So I don't get it. I don't understand anymore as to what is the argument between Kamala and Trump. Trump don't mean anybody no good. I don't think he meant his mama no good.
Whoa. That's that little night wall coming out now. Rev, thank you, man.
I'm just trying to tell you what I see.
Yeah. Thank you, Rev.
For us to have this conversation as to who can best serve the black community or serve our community, I think that we got to look at all of it.
Well, I'm looking at person.
His leadership has not been demonstrated about the people that worked closely with him in his last administration. Something is wrong for you to sit there and say, "Oh, well, this is a great man and he's good."
Thank you.
Now, I don't know. Maybe Antonio might have a concussion still going on, or something. I don't know. But for them to come up, I think it's about money. I think it's that they're getting their little time in the sun and saying, hey, this is the best thing for black folks.
Okay. Well, we going to break, man.
Thank you,
come
Reverend
back.
Campbell.
We're coming back to Boot at for Impact 504, Saturday, October 26th, 2900 block of Audubon
John,
Street,
stay with
starting at
us,
1
John.
o'clock. Yeah.
We have to take a break. We'll have more with Percy after the break. This is WBOK
Big Percy.
1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking
You know
about.
they talk. Who station?
Our station.
This is your news update for WBOK 1230 AM from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Another mostly sunny day with highs in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s. It will still feel comfortable as humidity is down. Light winds are expected. Then tonight, lows fall to the 50s and the 60s. More low to mid 80s expected Wednesday, staying dry throughout the rest of the week with more temperatures into those lower 80s, just slightly above average. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing. Those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Delgado Community College offers programs in business, technology, health sciences, and the arts with over 100 career-focused degrees and certificates that are affordable, flexible, and transferable. We can give you the knowledge and skills to succeed. Delgado is a great fit if you're starting your post-high school education, or we can help you advance or change your career. Take a step toward being unstoppable at Delgado Community College. Visit dcc.edu to learn more today.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Brian Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK 1230 AM.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. I am Dr. Ashanta White. The man over there doing all that dancing is Oliver O.T. Thomas.
Yes.
And in studio with us is Percy Marchand.
Mr. Impact 504.
Mr. Impact 504 talking all things. Boo that.
Yeah, nope.
We have a caller. Let's see what he's talking about, Percy. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning, Big John.
Now I know John ain't holding.
John?
You there?
John, you couldn't hold for us, bro.
I'm trying to tell you something. He gonna call us
Boss,
back.
you know these people be at work sneaking up on it. They want to holler at Dr. White.
No, that's
Yeah.
Hold on, my boss coming.
Well, you heard T-Bone. You heard T-Bone earlier. He said, "Man, hold on, man. Look, I'm about to check in." He still went on for 5 minutes.
But listen, this is an exciting event off air. We were talking, like, I think you need to remind the listeners that the kids can dress up in costumes.
Absolutely, we're
There's
encouraging
a costume
contest with
Yes,
prizes,
so-
great prizes, and this is interesting because kind of going back to what we talked, how y'all were talking earlier about Antonio Brown and how we wear and when we let our kids shine.
Yes.
So one of the thing that's so great about that costume contest is those kids get up there and you'll see like a total new person flip on. And our kids they're so talented.
Yes.
And so skilled
Yes.
and so gifted. But we
Yes.
have to do things to get them the exposure so that they can get up and not have that stage fright.
And you got
not be
the
scared to be excited.
The Bay as the host and judge, one of the hosts of the costume contest, and by the Bay Shea Bay O'Connor.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shea
Yes,
O'Connor
ma'am. She's
over there at
excited. We've
Channel
been
6,
talking.
yes.
Actually interviewing with her later on today, but she's gonna bring a lot to it.
Good, absolutely.
This sounds like a really exciting event. So it's going to start at what, 1 o'clock?
1 p.m. Yes.
1 p.m. It's going to
1
go
p.m.
all night.
And you know it's the whole block. It's not just this. We got stuff out throughout the
Something
whole
for everybody,
block.
so you could come a little later, come a little earlier.
Absolutely. And
But-
most when you come, you're not gonna leave. I can promise you that.
So if you're gonna go and you're not gonna want to leave, we're encouraging you to go to the polls first. Don't go
Absolutely.
to Boudette first because you're gonna be there all day, and the polls gonna be closed by the time you leave. So if you want to early vote, go early vote before you go take part in Boudette.
and Urban League will be out. They're gonna have some resources out there for people to check their status.
And
make sure
what
they're
if
good.
you hungry?
If you're hungry, we got. All right, let me tell you this menu. This free menu.
It's free.
Free
man.
free better than cheap.
We got
person.
red beans and rice.
Oh,
New Orleans.
We got New Orleans red beans and rice. We got gumbo donated by Nice Guys Nola.
Oh,
we got jambalaya. We got meatballs. We got earlier during the day we'll be doing hot dogs and nachos. So
That's
y'all
what
hear
the
all this
kids
stuff we're
want.
doing.
That's
Y'all
what the
know this
kids
takes a
want.
lot of money, so go to Boudette.com and make a donation.
Absolutely.
So
Listen.
help us make this and keep this free.
Boudette.com
yeah.
for your online donations.
Yeah, look-
And there's a cash app. $sign reach the goal.
No doubt.
That's
Look, Percy
easy.
Marchand has been giving back for a long time in their family. So let's support Boudette.com, guys. So if you got a little coins, right, everything goes back into the community, safe families. You can bring your kids all day fairs or veritable who's going to be out there. We support Boudette.com.
And I think it's important to note that the first 250 registered attendees will receive an Impact 504 bag filled with Halloween goodies.
Yep, you can register, you can volunteer, sign to register, sign up to volunteer, register online. All that's available at Boudette.com.
And it's a good cause. I just interviewed with Shea O'Connor last week about the domestic violence incident that happened at Georgetown Apartments. We are familiar with the incident that happened in St. Tammany with the murder-suicide, the ones in Jefferson Parish. There's been a rash of domestic violence. So even though this is a good time.
And the demographics are getting younger.
Percy, it's a good
Purpose.
cause also.
And they will have some people selling their testimonial stories and things like that. And I'm glad you brought that back up because the reason why this is so important, between 25 and 30% of males and females experience domestic violence, survive domestic violence, or are victims of domestic
And
violence.
I was just a speaker for the Family Justice Center for their pinning ceremony.
Right.
Where we honored, I think it was 6 survivors of domestic violence. So, but the work the Family Justice Center is doing is absolutely awesome. But you're absolutely correct. It's men and women and kids.
Yeah, and it's, they'll tell you some of the problems that they have with the situations is, so you're in an abusive relationship and you decide you're going to go get help. So I go to this shelter, this service provider, and because resources are so limited, they wind up having to turn you away or telling you what the nearest shelter we have is 90 miles away from your job, and you can't bring your kids. So then your kids have to go into a system. It's not set up for success for our survivors, and people who are going through this stuff. So we have to really highlight this issue. Unfortunately, there was $7 million in the state budget that was supposed to go to domestic service providers in the state, and it was cut.
Okay.
So they are really struggling right now. And if, there's so many, again, with this whole thing with Impact 504, the reason I started this was I got tired of people looking at the news or hearing about situations and just saying, man, I wish that's just so sad.
So
I wish there was something I could do.
Only cause?
Oh, no. Absolutely. So again, like our mission is basically those, like I said, when you watch those news stories and you see something like, I wish there was something we could do, we're going to do it. Okay. And we're going to give you opportunities to actually do something. That may be writing a check. That may be coming out and doing service. That may be donating goods. But we want to have an impact on the 504. And that's why we're Impact 504.
So what can community members do to support this initiative beyond attending the event? So how can we support Impact 504 beyond this event?
Impact504.org is where we post all our events. We serve the underserved populations under the bridges and then throughout communities. For Christmas, we do a Winterfest parade and giveaway toys and as well as coats and jackets. So you can donate for that. That's happening December 21st this year. So in all these events, you can keep up with us on Impact 504. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate money, all of those things with 501c3. Tax exempt. We just got our approval, so we're good. Your donations, instead you have a choice. You can write a check to Uncle Sam, or you can write a check to an organization that's gonna actually do something, and you're gonna feel the impact in your neighborhoods, with your family, with your friends, in the community.
Boo Dat, brought to you by Impact 504, is happening Saturday, October 26th. The 2900 block of Audubon Street. The first 250 registered attendees will receive an Impact 504 bag filled with Halloween goodies. Register online at www.boodat.com.
And if I could just give one quick shout out to all our city council members, Leslie Harris, Elena Moreno, State Senator Royce Duplessis, State Representative Sean Mina, and Mandy Landry have all stepped up. They participate. They don't just write a check. They come in and this is our community taking charge on every level. And I'm just grateful to everyone who has stepped up.
Shout out to the community. We want to thank Percy Marchand, the management consultant, grant writing program developer for Boo Dat 504 and Impact 504. Thank you for your time this morning, sir. All. We're glad to have you. But before I leave, I want to make certain you guys know that the New Orleans United Front invites you to their monthly town hall. It's happening Monday, October 28, 2024. 5 to 7 p.m. at Cafe Istanbul, 2372 St. Claude Avenue in the Healing Center. I will moderate a conversation with Sheriff Susan Hudson. Refreshments will be served. And for more information, you can contact Miss Alicia Plummer at 504-458-5809. New Orleans United Front, monthly town hall meeting, Cafe Istanbul. It's been a wonderful show. We're going to invite you guys, as always. We welcome you to the front porch. Up next with Grayling and Kimba. This is WBOK 1230 AM. I am Dr. Ashanta White. I want to thank my guests, and I also want to thank my co-host. He's a busy guy, so he had to run out. But we are both going to see you guys tomorrow right here on WBOK in the Good Morning Show. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank y'all.